Hi everyone, I'm Kendra. Welcome back to the Denali Benefits Medicare channel. If you are reviewing your Medicare supplement options for 2026, then you've probably seen the same two plans come up over and over again, Plan G and Plan N. They're both very popular and they're both strong options. But when you start looking at them more closely, the details can start to feel confusing pretty quickly. So today, I'm going to walk you through a clear side-by-side comparison of Plan G and Plan N. We'll talk through what's the same, what's different, and how to think through which one might fit your budget and your comfort level. Before we talk about differences, let's focus on the similarities. Now, both Plan G and Plan N are Medicare supplement plans, which are also called Medigap plans. So that means that they're going to work alongside original Medicare, which includes Part A for your hospital coverage and Part B for your outpatient and doctor services. Original Medicare generally pays about 80% of approved outpatient costs, and then that remaining 20% plus certain deductibles is going to be your responsibility. Now that's where these supplement plans come in. With either Plan G or Plan N, you can see any doctor or hospital in the country that takes Medicare. There are no provider networks. You don't need referrals to see specialists. Both plans are going to help your hospital deductible and hospital coinsurance. Both of them include skilled nursing facility coinsurance coverage, and both of them include limited foreign travel emergency coverage. That was a lot. So, at the foundational level, they are very similar. Let's talk about an important number for 2026, and that is the Medicare Part B deductible. It's $283 for 2026. Now, no matter whether you choose Plan G or Plan N, you are responsible for paying that $283 before the plan begins covering most of your outpatient services. So that piece is going to be the same with both plans. And let's talk about Plan G. After you pay the $283 Part B deductible, Plan G is generally going to cover the remaining Medicare-approved Part A and Part B coinsurance and co-payments for the rest of the year. That means that once the deductible is met, your out-of-pocket costs for Medicare-approved services are typically going to be very limited. Now, Plan G also covers something called excess charges, which I'll explain in just a little bit. Because Plan G reduces most cost sharing after the deductible, it does often have a higher monthly premium when you compare it to Plan N. Now, some people do prefer this structure because it offers more predictability during the year. Now let's look at Plan N. Plan N does work very similarly to Plan G in many ways. You're still going to be paying that $283 Part B deductible first. And then after that, you might have a copay of up to $20 for certain office visits and a copay of up to $50 for emergency room visits that don't result in hospital admission. These copays are going to apply after you've met your deductible. And in exchange for the small copays, Plan N does offer a lower monthly premium compared to Plan G. So the trade-off there is a typically lower fixed monthly cost, but then slightly more cost sharing when you're using those services. Now let's talk about one other difference, and that is excess charges. When Medicare covers a service, it sets a specific price that it considers to be appropriate for that service. And most doctors and providers agree to accept that Medicare-approved price. When they do, they can't charge you more than your deductible and your coinsurance. However, in some states, certain providers are allowed to charge up to 15% more than that Medicare-approved amount. So for example, if Medicare says that a service should cost $100, then a provider who does not agree to that could charge you up to $115. Now, Medicare would still base its payment on that $100 amount and not the higher amount. So that extra $15 difference is called an excess charge. Now, Plan G is going to help to cover those additional charges, while Plan N doesn't cover them. The good news is that most providers accept Medicare's approved pricing, but it is always a good idea to ask your doctor's office whether they accept Medicare's approved amount. In many areas, Plan N does have a lower monthly premium than Plan G, but the exact difference is going to depend on factors like your age, your zip code, your gender, whether or not you're a smoker, and the insurance company that's offering the plan. Plan G generally does have higher premiums, but then they have fewer out-of-pocket costs during the year. And Plan N generally has lower premiums, but then they include copays and potential exposure to excess charges like we just talked about. So neither approach is automatically better. It really just depends on your preferences. Choosing between these two plans is really going to come down to your budgeting style. Plan G tends to offer more predictability after your deductible is met, while Plan N reduces that fixed monthly premium, but you will share some costs when you use the services. So if you visit your doctor frequently, or if you prefer knowing that your costs are mostly handled after the deductible, then Plan G might feel more comfortable. But if you don't visit your providers very often, and if you prefer to keep your monthly premium lower, then Plan N might work better for you. It might make more sense with your preferences. So it really just comes down to how you prefer to structure your expenses. So let's say someone sees the doctor 4 times in a year. With Plan G, after that $283 deductible, additional Medicare approved outpatient costs would typically be covered. Now with Plan N, there would be up to there could be anyways, up to 4 $20 copays, depending on the type of visits. Now, whether Plan G or Plan N ends up costing more overall is going to depend on the premium difference in your area. And that's why comparing actual rates locally is so important. Before we wrap up, here are a few quick reminders for you. Medicare supplement plans are standardized. So that means that Plan G from one company provides the same basic medical benefits as Plan G from another company. The difference between companies is typically going to come down to their premium pricing and the customer service that they offer. And neither Plan G nor Plan N includes prescription drug coverage. You would enroll in a separate Part D plan to cover the cost of medications. Now, eligibility and medical underwriting rules can vary depending on when you apply, so your timing really matters, especially if you're outside of your initial enrollment window. Okay, I hope that this comparison makes the differences between Plan G and Plan N for 2026 so much clearer for you. Both plans offer strong coverage and they have nationwide flexibility, so the decision really is going to come down to how you prefer to balance your monthly premiums and your out-of-pocket costs. You can review your full range of options by reaching out to us at Denali Benefits. You can visit Medicare.gov or you can call 1-800-MEDICARE. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.